You're walking down a dark hallway. Something moves at the edge of your vision, your shoulders drop, your heart slams, and you flinch hard, a full half-second before your mind even knows what you saw. That's strange, isn't it? Your body made a decision before you did. Most people assume they see danger, think about it, then react. But the real answer is far stranger. Your brain sees it first, reacts first, and only tells you what happened afterward, like a bodyguard who shoves you out of the way before explaining why. This isn't a glitch. It's an ancient survival circuit, older than language, older than conscious thought itself, and it's still running in your skull right now every single day, without asking your permission. Here's what's actually happening. Light hits your eyes. That information splits into two paths inside your brain. One path is slow and careful. It travels to your visual cortex, gets analyzed, compared to memory, checked against context. This is the path that lets you calmly recognize your friend's face across a room. It takes time, maybe a fifth of a second. Doesn't sound like much, but in survival terms, a fifth of a second can be the difference between life and death. So your brain built a shortcut. Neuroscientist Joseph LeDoux mapped this second route in the 1990s and called it the low road. Instead of traveling all the way to the thinking part of your brain, raw visual information takes a detour straight to the amygdala, the almond-shaped alarm system buried deep in your skull. No analysis, no context, no permission needed, just a blunt, instant question. Threat, yes or no? And when the answer might be yes, your amygdala fires off a body-wide alert before your conscious mind has even finished loading the picture. That's why you flinch first and understand second. Your thinking brain is still rendering the scene, while your survival brain has already sounded the alarm. Here's where it gets stranger. You don't even need to consciously see something for this system to react. Psychologist Arne Öhman ran a series of experiments flashing images of snakes and spiders at people so quickly, mere milliseconds, that participants couldn't consciously identify what they'd seen. And yet their skin still sweated. Their heart rate still spiked. Their bodies responded to a threat their conscious mind never registered. The eyes saw it. The amygdala saw it. The person, the actual thinking self behind the eyes, saw nothing at all. Think about what that means. Some part of you is scanning the world for danger constantly, quietly, and it doesn't wait for you to notice. Researcher Beatrice de Gelder pushed this even further. She studied patients with a rare condition called cortical blindness, where damage to the visual cortex leaves people unable to consciously see anything at all. Total blackness, by their own report. But when de Gelder showed these patients images of fearful faces, something extraordinary happened. Their amygdala lit up, their bodies tensed. Some could even navigate around obstacles in a hallway they insisted they could not see. Scientists call this blindsight. The eyes still send raw signals to the ancient alarm system, even when the newer, conscious visual system has gone completely dark. Which raises an uncomfortable question. How much of you is actually watching the world right now, without you knowing it? Here's the twist, and it's the part that should really unsettle you. This ancient alarm system cannot tell the difference between a lion and your boss's tone of voice. It cannot tell the difference between a falling rock and an unread text message from someone you're worried about. The amygdala evolved on the savannah, tuned to snakes, sudden movement, looming shapes, sharp sounds. It was never updated for emails, notifications, or a stranger's raised eyebrow in a meeting. But it fires the exact same way regardless. Same flood of cortisol, same spike in heart rate, same full-body readiness to fight or flee from a threat that, in the modern world, is almost never actually going to eat you. You are carrying a Stone Age alarm system through a world built entirely out of triggers it was never designed to filter. That's why a single buzzing phone at 2 a.m. can jolt you fully awake, heart pounding, even though it's almost certainly nothing. That's why a sharply worded email can leave your hands shaking for an hour. Your amygdala doesn't read the content. It just registers a sudden, unexpected stimulus and fires the same ancient alarm your ancestors used for something crouched in the grass. And here's what makes it even harder to manage. Once that alarm fires, your slower, thinking brain, the part capable of nuance, context, patience, gets temporarily muted. Researchers studying stress physiology describe this as a kind of hijack. Blood flow shifts away from the prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for reasoning, and toward the muscles, the heart, the systems built for immediate physical action. You become, for a few seconds, less of a thinker and more of an animal bracing to survive. Ever said something you regretted the moment your temper spiked? That's the hijack. Your ancient brain grabbed the wheel before your modern brain could object. So what do you actually do with a wiring system this old, running underneath a life this modern? You can't switch it off. Evolution didn't build an off switch, only a very fast on switch. But understanding the sequence changes something important. That flinch, that spike, that flood of dread before you've even processed what triggered it, isn't a judgment of the situation. It's not proof that something is actually wrong. It's a reflex, fired by a part of your brain that still thinks every sudden movement might be a predator in the grass. The gap between the alarm and the actual threat is where you live now. That's the space where you get to decide whether to believe the alarm or simply let it pass through you. Consider what that means the next time your phone buzzes and your stomach drops before you even glance at the screen. Consider it the next time a stranger's tone makes your jaw tighten before you've even registered a single word they said. That reaction arrived from somewhere ancient, somewhere that has nothing to do with emails or Slack messages or awkward small talk, and everything to do with grass, shadows, and things that used to hunt your ancestors in the dark. Next time you catch yourself flinching before you know why, you'll know exactly what happened. A hallway. A shadow. A shove from a bodyguard who never learned to speak, only to protect, working exactly as designed, tens of thousands of years after the world it was built for disappeared.